fierce, powerful, popular, everything that Donald Trump isn't. That's Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum. Let me share with you the strong message that she delivered, that she will be going after American companies or anybody who's aiding and abetting the problems that are being caused in Mexico. She's standing up to Donald Trump's defamatory statements about Mexico in quintessential Claudia Sheinbaum fashion. Play this clip.
Mexico has an international lawsuit against gun manufacturers and distributors in the United States. If they were to decree to organize crime groups as terrorists, well, we would have to expand the lawsuit in the United States. Because then, as was already recognized, the United States Department of Justice itself, that 74% of the weapons of criminal groups come from the United States. So then, how do the manufacturers and distributors stand regarding the decree? Maybe, I don't know. The lawyers are looking into it, but they could be accomplices. What we will never accept is interference, interventionism, and we will always defend our sovereignty.
Now, it should be noted as well that President Claudia Sheinbaum has about an 80% approval rating, something that Donald Trump wished that he had. She's been standing up to Donald Trump at every step of the way. Here she is earlier in the week as well. That last clip I showed you was end of the week. This was a little bit earlier in the week where she talks about Donald Trump's ridiculous premises of renaming the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. And she goes, hey, Google, you want to do that? Guess what? We're a sovereign nation as well. We'll come after you, Google. She basically says, here, watch this.
Not even President Trump is proposing that the entire Gulf of Mexico be called the Gulf of America, but only its continental shelf. First, let me thank the Encyclopedia Britannica because indeed it is the Gulf of Mexico. Now, with whom we do have a dispute at the moment is with Google, where in the United States it will show Gulf of America, and in other places Gulf of Mexico, and in other places both Gulf of Mexico and Gulf of America. But they are not correct. Google is wrong. The decree was given again, and they were informed of the international norms again. If they keep insisting, we are also considering even a lawsuit, because they are even naming over the Mexican territory, which is our continental shelf. What we are telling Google is to review the decree issued by the White House. It does not refer to the entire Gulf, but to the continental shelf. But let's hope they do a review. It is important that private companies dedicated to information provide correct information.
As The Guardian reports, Mexican president blasts the United States for harboring drug cartels. She's saying, look, Donald, you're coming after us. We're coming after you. The lifeblood of cartels, which you want to label terrorist organizations, are your weapons that are getting into the United States. And also, it is your people who are consuming the fentanyl. It is Americans who are bringing the fentanyl abroad. So if you want to come after us, then you're basically coming after yourself. So you come after Mexico, well, then we'll go after the gun manufacturers. Here's what she goes. She goes, quote, there is organized crime in the United States, and there are American people who come to Mexico with these illegal activities. She goes on to say, otherwise, who would distribute fentanyl in the cities of the United States? She goes, it's the Americans who are fueling this, so don't blame it on us, she says. Her comments follow a report published on Monday, which showed that arrests of U.S. citizens for offenses related to organized crime had increased by more than 450% during the tenure of her predecessor, Obrador. Sheinbaum called on Washington not just to help crack down on cartels in Mexico, but for the United States to do its job in the U.S. to make the arrests that need to be made in order to halt the trafficking of drugs in its own country, she says. And what I like about this is she's going on the offense here, and she's not just allowing Donald Trump to control the narrative. She also says, okay, let's take a look at some of the the entities that we will sue. She goes, a lot of the guns are coming in from American gun manufacturers, so why don't we go after and sue Smith & Wesson, Beretta? Why don't we sue Colt Manufacturing Company? Maybe Mexico takes action against these American gun manufacturers. If you want to come after us, two can play at that game. Your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. If you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. I get so many emails from the Meidas Mighty saying how great Miracle Made sheets are and how it's changed their lives for the better. Here's why. It uses silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA. So therefore, Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, no matter the weather, so you get better sleep every night. Now, these sheets are also infused with silver, as I said, and that prevents up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets, so no more gross odors. Also, Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without that high price tag of other luxury brands, and it feels as nice to me, if not nicer, than the sheets used by some 5-star hotels. So, upgrade your sleep this year. Go to trymiracle.com/Meidas. That's TRYMIRACLE.com/MEIDAS to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Meidas at checkout, you'll get a free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Meidas and use the code Meidas to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Meidas to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. So it's kind of also what we're seeing in Canada with the organic boycott taking place. It's not just retaliatory tariffs as a threat in response to Trump's tariffs. It's Canadians are saying, okay, you want to come after us? We're not going to visit the United States. See what happens when we boycott your goods and your groceries and your products and your stores? See what happens when we don't travel to the United States and we contribute $22 billion to the United States in tourism alone. We'll crash that and then we'll help crash your economy if you're going to keep saying we should be the 51st state. People are fighting back. Countries are fighting back in different ways. And here we see Claudia Sheinbaum saying, okay, you're labeling Mexico with all of these horrific labels. Okay, well, guess where those guns come from? Guess where the fentanyl problem really is? Now, we've showed you some of these clips before of Claudia Sheinbaum standing up for the sovereignty of other nearby countries like Panama. Here she is talking about stop saying that you want to conquer Panama. It belongs to the Panamanians. Here, watch this.
Ahora, ayer también se refirió al tema de Panamá y ahí sí nuestra solidaridad con el presidente de Panamá, que salió muy rápidamente a decir el canal de Panamá es de los panameños, y en efecto el canal de Panamá es de los panameños. Entonces ahí sí nuestra solidaridad, nuestro apoyo al presidente de Panamá, al pueblo de Panamá.
And here's Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum clapping back at Donald Trump from using a map and she uses a map from 1607 to say, if we really want to understand your history, Donald, then you should know that actually the United States belongs to Mexico. Remember what I showed you, this clip? At every step of the way, she's been going on the offense. Play this clip.
Obviously, Gulf of Mexico is name recognized by the United Nations. It's an organization of the United Nations, but the next question is, why don't we call it Mexican America? It sounds nice, doesn't it? Right. Since 1607, the Apatzingan Constitution referred to it as Mexican America. So, let's call it Mexican America. It sounds nice, doesn't it? And Gulf of Mexico, well, you see, since 1607, and it's also recognized internationally. Well, historically speaking, because as you might know, I know they're going to ask me. I think that yesterday they misinformed President Trump, with all due respect, because I believe they told him that Felipe Calderon and Garcia Luna were still in power in Mexico.
And her going on the offense started right after the election. As soon as Donald Trump started using the anti-Mexico rhetoric, and she went, bam, she went right into it. She said, okay, you want to go after us? Guess what? Your auto manufacturers are in Mexico. You want to talk about the big American auto companies? Their factories are right here in Tijuana and elsewhere. So you tariff us, you're tariffing yourself, idiot. Basically what she said. And by the way, you are the one who negotiated the trade deal between Canada, the US, and Mexico. The USMCA, United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, which followed NAFTA, which you said you didn't like. You said the USMCA is so big, bigly, beautiful. That was your deal. And now you're saying you're getting ripped off based on your own deal? Not happening, she says. So we had Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum clapping back at Trump with that map. Then we have over here, we have Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada. Also, I just want to show you, the world leaders are fighting back. They smell weakness with Donald Trump. The same way, Putin smells weakness. Now even our allies are like, this guy is weak and pathetic and cognitively not there. Play this clip.
You previously said that it's a real thing that Trump wants to annex Canada. How serious or urgent would you classify that threat?
Let's be very clear. Conversations around a 51st state are a non-starter. It's never going to happen. But we have to take seriously what the president is saying and fold that into our thinking as we continue to stand up for Canada.
Here's Trudeau again. Play the clip.
I've said unequivocally from the beginning, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that Canada will ever be the 51st state.
And here's German Chancellor Scholz. Play this clip.
The Bundestag should come to a decision as soon as possible, declaring the war in Ukraine and its severe consequences for the security of Germany and Europe as a state of emergency in terms of Article 115, paragraph 2 of the Basic Law. This leads to our support for Ukraine, which is more important today than ever, no longer coming at the expense of the other duties that our state has to fulfill for its own citizens.
It was great to see President Claudia Sheinbaum again fighting back against Donald Trump, as Donald Trump says this about Putin. Play this clip.
Yesterday were pretty accurate. I don't see any way that a country in Russia's position could allow them, just in their position, could allow them to join NATO. I don't see that happening. And long before President Putin, Russia was very strong on the fact that I believe that's the reason the war started. Because Biden went out and said that they could join NATO, and he shouldn't have said that. As soon as he said that, I said, you know what? You're going to have a war now, and I was right about that. This is a war that would have never happened if I were president.
But you don't think it's President Biden's fault, not President Putin? I mean, he's the one.
I think Biden is incompetent, and I think when he said that they could join NATO, I thought that was a very stupid thing to say. I thought when he said, well, it depends if it's a minor incursion. In other words, it's okay if Russia does a minor incursion. I thought that was a very foolish thing to say.
Do you see the difference in leadership there? Do you see the difference? Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers together. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.